Hey, it's Joe here for Music Radar. We are here at Superbooth 2019 and we are on the Kilohearts stand and I'm here with Simon.
Hello.
Hey Simon.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about Phase Plant. So tell us a bit about it.
So Phase Plant is our new modular synthesizer plugin. It's an AU VST AAX plugin for Windows and Mac. And basically what we tried to do is create something that's very open-ended in terms of the sound design possibilities. So, you could have 30 oscillators, up to 64 modulators like LFOs, envelope generators, and so on. So, basically anything your CPU can handle, you can do with it.
So you can start small or you can just keep stacking modules.
So, it's very simple to do something, simple with it and basic. But you can, go totally crazy with it, create kind of whole sequences and songs in it as well. So
take us on a very quick tour then.
Yes.
I know it's a lot to it, but yeah, let's just take a tour of the synth.
Sure. So at the moment we're seeing kind of a patch, and this is what it would look like if you make something more complex. But when you open it, it looks like this. And you kind of have our generator section here, with our effect section here, and our modulator section here. What that means is here you can just sort of create oscillators, sound sources. We have just sort of an analog oscillator, which it's a very basic oscillator. But the cool thing is it can do FM as well. So if you want to do frequency modulation, you just create two of them, take the output of one, and then modulate the other one with it.
And you can see the waveform bending and see what's going on as well.
Actually, as well, when you modulate the modulation amount effectively to create some nice FM patch, you can see as well that it will change as you play it. So it's very easy to understand what's going on here. Now this is sort of a basic oscillator, as I said, but we have a very nice noise source. I'm not going to go through that. It's a noise source.
Yeah.
But then there is a sampler as well, and we ship with a bunch of samples included. Just like basic stuff. But you can just drag and drop your own samples as well, and sort of edit them and loop them. And there's a very nice wavetable oscillator, which again we ship with a bunch of wavetables. Let me just pick one here. And again, very easy to modulate. You just click the little plus sign here, go to your destination, and then you modulate it.
Okay, so there's tons of sound sources you can choose from and combine them all and get them interacting.
I want to get on with this, but one last thing about the sound source. So this is our wavetable editor. So you can add your own wavetables. You can convert sounds to like wave files or whatever to wavetables, and it's very nice because you can go in here and change it. You can draw on it. You can add modulation to it. You can add all sorts of effects. You can even work on the spectrum, so you could add a filter in the first frame, set it up somehow, go in the last frame, change it, and it will then interpolate the signal. Yeah, so
everything you'd expect from a wavetable synth,
exactly,
and that's just one part of it.
Exactly. So, and you can, as I said, you can create as many as you want. And then basically the sound goes into these sort of mix lanes.
Yeah, this is where we load snap-ins, isn't it?
Exactly.
So processing effects.
So if people are familiar with our snap-in environment, it's basically effects that you can buy separately, and you can use them as VSTs in your DAW, or you can use them within our products as well. So I can just load all of these effects that we have in here very easily, very quickly, and again, modulate everything however you want very quickly. It's a very quick way of working. I'm a sound designer as well, so this is sort of a godsend for me because it enables me to get sounds very quickly.
Yeah. And this is slightly different to just strapping effects on at the end of the chain, isn't it? You can do processing per voice, can't you?
Yes, exactly. So the cool thing is, if I set this up, you can do the routing however you want, but if I set this up like this, all the sort of effects are going on the master chain. But I can click the poly button up here and then it's per voice. And I can do that for each lane individually as well. Okay. So, very, very complex routings are possible here as well.
So things like distortion, and that's obviously easier, isn't it, when you're playing chords, that kind of thing?
Exactly. So when you add the distortion to the master and then you play a chord, it's going to be different to when you add it to each voice. It's going to be more dynamic that way, and just a kind of different way of doing it. And as well, when you have like random modulation or something, it will be different for each voice a bit, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
What about voices, by the way? So you can do on our oscillators, you can do unison. Stack up to 8 sort of voices and then detune them slightly and so on. But even when you load a very complex patch, you can do unison on the whole thing. Right. So you could, it's kind of crazy because you can go up to 64 voices and then do like unison, 8 times unison on all the voices and on the whole synth rather. And it's, again, like if your CPU can handle it, you can do it pretty much. That's sort of the philosophy of the synth. Yeah.
Cool. So, should we have a listen to some of the sounds? And
Yeah,
just
sure.
the kind of thing. I think that's a pretty decent overview. There's a lot here, but yeah, let's have a listen to some of the sounds we've got here.
So it does sort of all sorts of classic synth sounds. And what's nice as well as a sound designer, when you want to ship this to musicians to actually play it, we have these macro controls, and you can use them to change multiple parameters in the synth very easily. And you can map that to MIDI as well. So we have a MIDI controller down here, and when you touch any of the controls, you can change the sound very easily just by adjusting a few controls. So if you're a musician and you just want to play it, it's very easy to get in there, choose a preset that someone's made, or maybe a sound designer has made for you, and you can just play it and do your score with it or perform with it or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's quite an essential thing nowadays in a big synth like this. You kind of need that to be able to simplify what's going on.
Exactly. I think it opens it up. Like every patch kind of becomes an instrument rather than just a patch that does one sound.
Yeah.
But it does sort of a range of sounds that you can dial in very easily. Also, just to show you the complexity of it. So one of our sound designers has done this patch, which is effectively a whole sort of drum and bass loop in just one patch. And it's it's like, I could probably turn up the speed a bit for this actually. There we go.
Okay, so what we've got going on here then? So what's generating these?
So effectively they set up a group for the kick, a group for the snare, a group for the hi-hats, and then a group for the rest for the bass effectively. Okay. So if I turn all these groups off, for example, now I can just hear the bass. And now I could, this is just the kick as well.
These all being synthesized, or are they sampled?
These are all it depends on how you do it. These are sort of partly synthesized, partly sampled.
Okay.
But you could do it however you want, pretty much. I think this is actually using 30 oscillators, this patch. So,
wow.
So it's lots of, the person who did it really went crazy with it. So
yeah. I mean, that's the power of this kind of synth, isn't it? For sound design, you can actually do that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Go that far. Awesome.
So, you can do all sorts of pretty sounds with it. You can just go super, like grimy with the wavetables as well. And it kind of does a huge range of things. So that's kind of what's nice about it, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for showing us around, Simon. Really appreciate that. Also, when's it out? It's out in the next month, is it?
Yeah, so it's
in beta right now.
It's in beta right now. We're still sorting out some bugs and some presets as well, so we have to kind of do that. We have a bunch of presets. Probably going to ship with about 300 presets from different sound designers. But yeah, within the next 4 weeks or something. Yeah.
Great, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned to Music Radar for more Superbooth 2019 news and videos. Cheers.